What is going on, everyone? Anthony Drew Gary here, and I have some guests for this episode of the show. I have my wife Ashley.
Hi.
It's been a while since she's been on the show. We've done some things since then, up to and including baby Madeline.
Mm-hmm.
So baby Madeline doesn't cooperate with bedtimes, and so she's going to join us for this episode of the show. And this week we are talking about how to budget for Christmas. And the reason we're doing that is because Black Friday has just come and gone, and so hopefully everybody who has no interest in budgeting for Christmas whatsoever can pick up this video now and pick up some tips and best practices for how to do that. I was counting earlier. We are celebrating our 7th Christmas as a married couple. Don't you feel ancient?
Are you sure it's 7?
16,
Yes.
17,
Yes.
18, 19.
7.
She doubts me. I can't do
I
math.
feel old.
Yeah, so 7 of them. So we've learned some things along the way. Hopefully we can share them with you and give you some benefit from it. And so basically want to talk about how we budget for Christmas. And I do the talking on every episode every week, so feel free to jump in with how we do it.
You do a lot of talking.
Thank you.
Yes. Honestly, intentionality and just sitting down to have conversations is really the biggest thing. I know that we have already had, 3 or 4 different conversations to really nail it down and have a discussion about how we're going to attack it.
Yeah, and I don't want us to sound like monsters. When we talk about these conversations, there's usually something going on TV. It's not like we're setting meetings or nobody's Outlook is going off that there's a notification that in 15 minutes we're going to discuss Christmas shopping. But in any event, what we do is we basically get out a sheet of paper or a phone or a tablet or whatever it is, and we make a list every year. And basically, these are all of the people that we want to buy Christmas gifts for. And it starts, locally, basically with our children, and then it expands a little farther, some family members, and then it expands even farther to, great Aunt Phyllis who smells funny every Thanksgiving. We got to put her all the way at the bottom, and we don't actually have a great Aunt Phyllis, but you get the idea. So I will stop here and say that we have seen both sides of putting teachers on your Christmas lists. And the reason I want to bring that up is because teachers, the majority of the time throughout the school year, are coming money out of pocket for a lot of the things that happen in classrooms on a day-to-day basis. So if you are of the means that you can do something for your teachers, highly recommend you do it. I can speak to this, but I think Ashley can speak to it a little better. Every teacher loves their Starbucks, but practically speaking, a place that they can spend their money on whatever they want is probably more appropriate. For example, you can buy groceries at Target, you can buy school supplies at Target, I think you can buy Starbucks at Target. So you can check multiple boxes that way. Enough about the teachers for now. Basically what we do is we list from top to bottom, who are we going to buy Christmas gifts for this year? And then we start assigning approximate amounts of how much we're going to spend. And then we get to the bottom and we add them all up, and what happens?
We see if we're over or under budget and how we need to adjust. But we also look and make sure that it's feasible for us that year. Maybe instead of $75, we scale it back to $60 for immediate family or the kids or whatever it may be.
Yeah, and this looks a little different every single year that we do it, and I think that's kind of the point, that as you grow and change in phases of life, this part of your life is going to change as well. And so when we think about this, there are going to be some years where there are going to be some immediate needs that we can check off and call them Christmas presents too, and so that's going to make everything fluctuate. But much like budgeting in any other capacity, if you go over for one person, ultimately it's got to come out of another person, and there's probably some elements of fairness, especially if you have multiple children or anything like that, or if you get in the rabbit hole of trying to do things evenly. But basically give yourself some permission to screw this up by a little bit in either direction, because it's not going to come out perfect in the wash. Another thought along those lines is that we have come up with something that was completely stolen, but basically categorically taking care of the children. Do you remember them all?
Something you want, something you need, something to wear, something to read.
Look at that. Somebody much more wise than us created that once upon a time, and we've been using it. For the most part, it's been going pretty well. You can get fun with the something to read specifically. I remember one year Ashley, customized a book for Marin. Earmuffs, Madeline. We're going to do the same for her here soon. Yep, so she can't hear it. We're good. But yeah, in a general sense, that's what we do. And, I think that it's worth bringing up that, Christmas doesn't come by surprise to anybody. It's at the same point in the year every year. And so realistically, it's completely understandable that cash flowing Christmas may not be feasible for everybody and, not necessarily feasible for us either. So we have to start being intentional about this a couple of months in advance so that we can make sure that we're not going negative just so that we can splurge on Christmas. And so overall, I think it's been successful to plan ahead and not just go in blind, shopping either on the web or in the store, so that we have a plan in place. And to wrap things up, allow yourself a little bit of room for the serendipity of life. I know that when we go out shopping, we're inevitably going to find something that we hadn't thought of when we sat down and had some discussions about it. And so we want to make sure that there's room for that as well. What have we missed?
I know that I touched on earlier about having multiple conversations, and really we kind of narrow it down. Like we start out pretty broadly, like, okay, who do we want to buy gifts for or need to buy gifts for? How much are we going to spend? Okay, what are those, want, need gifts? And more specifically then, like, okay, what is it that we want to get and about how much do we want to spend on it? To really hone in, like, we know Marin wants a pink flashlight this year for Christmas. So, okay, we can manage that. But what is something else that she might need? Oh, she needs whatever it is, this new clothing item or whatever. So honing in more on those details and just getting a little bit more focused, and then make a plan of attack for it. I know we had discussed, hey, do we want to go and try and do most of this online? Do we want to do this together? And so we are partnering up with some friends of ours and swapping kid sitting services. So we get to go Christmas shopping on Friday, and then they'll go out on Sunday.
Yeah, if your kids are much bigger than this, you can't really take them Christmas shopping with you. So find a buddy system, somebody that can take care of your kids while you're going shopping, and you can return the favor. That's going to wrap up this episode of the show. Hopefully Ashley will join me on some future episodes as well. Leave me a comment down below if you want more Ashley in our videos. It's like the SNL skit. I've got a fever and the only prescription is more Ashley in the how-to show.
Right.
That's right. If you've got any future topics or ideas for the show, let me know in the comments down below. You can subscribe to be the first to know about new content each and every Wednesday. And as always, if you are looking to transact real estate in the Indianapolis market, me. You can be in touch with me either in the comments down below or at indy12.com. You'll notice I'm wearing an Illinois shirt again for the second week in a row. That's because they're about to take on Syracuse in the Big Ten ACC Challenge. That's what we'll be doing tonight. Until next time, take care.